So if you think about our last approach to this, if we thought about this as a trinomial, we'd have nothing in as that bx term, right? And so we'd factor it thinking, well, whatever factors of 121, you start factoring all the 121. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative, 11, 11. Right, one's positive, one's a negative. But their difference have to be 0, right? So, of course, we're going to pick the 11 and the minus 11, right? And then we check that. So that's x squared minus 11x plus 11x minus 121. Those cancel, and sure enough, it leaves us with x squared minus 121. So this is a special polynomial where if you have two things and a minus between them, called a difference, right? A difference between them, and they're both being squared, right? 11 squared is 121. Then they will always factor into a plus b, a minus b. It's called difference of squares, right? So here's another example: x squared minus 144. 144 is a perfect square, so it's going to be minus 12 plus 12, right? And check it, make sure you get it. Sure enough. How about this one? Another difference of squares. This time it's going to be what? Good. Yep, so one's minus, one's plus. Again, check it. Let's do some a little bit differently. How about this one? This is difference of squares. What is being squared to give you 9x squared? Yeah, so this is 3x squared minus 8 squared. So this will be and again, that's a minus 8 plus 8, right? So we check it, 9x squared plus 24x minus 24x. Those are gone in the middle, and minus 64 on the end. Again, always check it. How about this one? This is another difference of squares. So it's going to be and good, minus 7 plus 7. Good. Again, check it, right? Always check these things. Another difference of squares. This time it's going to be good. And good, minus 11 plus 11, right? And keep going with these. Well, how about this one? 12x squared, that's not a perfect square. Neither is 108. So first thing is go ahead and factor out the greatest common factor, which is 12. And you're left with 9, right? 9 times 12, 108. And now notice we have difference of squares. Same thing for this, and 5x squared minus 80. Take a what out first? And you're left with 80 divided by 5, 16. Right? And then we got another difference of squares. About that x to the 4th minus 625. Does anybody know the 25 is a perfect square? What times what gives you 625? Anybody know that by chance? 5 and 5, 25, but 25 and 25 is 625. So this is actually x squared being squared, and that's minus 25 being squared. So this is difference of squares. Again, 25 and 25, 625. And then I say, oh, I have another difference of squares. Which one? I can keep going. Right? And we're done. By the way, there's no sum of squares. So x squared plus 25, we're stuck there. Again, that x squared minus 25, that one kept going, right? That kept going and gave us x minus 5, x plus 5. Here's a nice one as well. That's difference of squares. So what's being squared? There's our A and our B. Stop there. Nothing we can do real cleanly with that. Alright, let's do a different type here. Make sure we finish up with the sum and difference of cubes. So here's the sum of cubes. So a cubed plus b cubed factors into a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. And here's another pattern. It's called difference of cubes. So difference of cubes, that'll factor into that one. Okay, so for this first one, is it sum of cubes or difference of cubes? Difference. Yeah, we got a minus between them. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I know a cubed minus b cubed factors into a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. So let me go back over here, and I have x being cubed. That's my a. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So my a is x, and my b is 5. And then I just follow the pattern. So I'm going to go a minus b times a squared plus a times b plus b squared. Again, I'm just following this pattern right here, right? Or I guess I should have done that, and that was the blue one. It's the blue one right there, right? The blue one. And then we just clean it up. We're all done. We just factored that difference of cubes. Let's do another one. Is this difference of cubes or sum of cubes? Sum, yeah, we got a plus between them, right? So I'm looking at that yellow one, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing the yellow one. So a cubed plus b cubed is a plus b factors into a plus b, a squared minus ab plus b squared. So this is x being cubed, and then 6 cubed, by the way, is 216. So my a is x, my b is 6. So a plus b, a squared minus a b, whoops, b plus b squared. And we're all done. That one. So we got a cubed minus b cubed, a minus b, a squared plus ab plus b squared. This is a minus b cubed. So we got a minus b, a squared plus a times b plus b squared. Okay. All right. well, this one's not perfectly fitting the mold of an a cubed minus b cubed, but what if we take out and x? Good. So we take a 5x out, and we're left with x cubed minus 27. 27 times 5 is 135. And there it is, 5x, a minus b, again, b is the 3 cubed, right, times a squared plus a b plus b squared. What do we take out of those two? That's that. You try that one. All right. How about some perfect square trinomials? So again, I like to just think about these as some backward foils, but if they're in this form, they'll factor real nicely for you. Or if they're in that form, into a minus b quantity squared. But I just like to set it up as a trinomial, look at those factors of 144 and say, well, it's got to be a 12 and 12 plus and a plus, and then I check it, right? Check, 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 check. Make sure you get the same thing as you started with. Sure enough, that's it. So it's x plus 12 quantity squared. There's two of those, right? In other words, this is of the form a plus b quantity squared. All right. If I'm looking at this one, is this thing factor? Well, it actually is in the form a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Might be hard to see, but you say, well, let's give it a shot here. 4x quantity squared is the 16x squared. Factors of 25 are 5 and 5. It's either a positive 5 times a positive 5 or a negative 5 times a negative 5. And you go ahead and check that. 16x squared minus 20x plus 25. There it is. There's that minus 40x. So it's 4x minus 5 times 4x minus 5. 4x minus 5 quantity squared. So this is of the form a minus b quantity squared. All right. There's another one. What do you think that one's going to factor into? It's either plus 1 or minus 1 minus 1. In this case, it's a minus 1 minus 1. Right. This one I'm going to go ahead. I would take a 2 out of each of those first. Then I'd factor that. X minus 10, x minus 10. Alright. Anyways, you keep going with a couple more of those if you like, or take a look at those written. We'll see you guys next time.